I'm back again. I'm Marvel de Corvera, and for today's content, I will going to discuss about nutrient cycle, the forming nutrient cycle, the importance of nutrient cycle, and the ecological implication of human alteration to nutrient cycle. So, without further ado, let's go!
When we say nutrient cycle, a nutrient cycle is defined as the cyclic pathway by which nutrients pass through in order to be recycled and reutilized. The pathway comprises cells, organisms, community, and ecosystems. In the process, nutrients get absorbed, transferred, released, and reabsorbed. It is a natural recycling system of mineral nutrients. Nutrients consumed by plants and animals are returned to the environment after death and decomposition, and the cycle continues. Soil microbes play an important role in nutrient cycling. They decompose organic matter to release nutrients. They are also important to trap and transform nutrients into the soil, which can be taken up by plants' roots. Nutrient cycling rate depends on various biotic, physical, and chemical factors. Nutrient cycling involves both biotic and abiotic components. The main abiotic components are air, water, and soil. Next, let's discuss the four main nutrient cycles, which are carbon cycle, nitrogen cycle, oxygen cycle, and hydrologic or water cycle. First, what is carbon cycle? Carbon cycle is the main constituent of all the living cells. All the organic matter and biomolecules contain carbon. Carbon is present mainly as carbon dioxide and methane in the atmosphere. There is a continuous exchange of carbon between biotic and abiotic components by the process of photosynthesis and respiration. Atmospheric carbon dioxide is fixed by plants in the process of photosynthesis. All the living organisms release carbon dioxide during respiration. Carbon is released into the atmosphere by burning of fossil fuels and O2 emission. Organic carbon from dead and decaying organisms and waste product is released into the atmosphere after decomposition. Next is nitrogen cycle. Nitrogen is also essential component of life. Nitrogen cannot be directly utilized by living organisms and has to be converted to other forms. By the process of nitrogen fixation, nitrogen-fixing bacteria fix atmospheric nitrogen to ammonia and nitrifying bacteria convert ammonia to nitrate. It is then taken up by plants. Atmospheric nitrogen is converted to nitrates directly by lightning and assimilated by plants. Decomposers break down proteins and amino acids of dead and decaying organic matters and waste products. The nitrifying bacteria convert ammonia and nitrates to nitrogen and nitrous to oxide by the process of denitrification. In this way, nitrogen is released back into the atmosphere. The third nutrient cycle is oxygen cycle. Oxygen is essential for life. Aquatic organisms are dependent on oxygen dissolved in water. Oxygen is required for decomposition of biodegradable waste products. Photosynthesis is the main source of oxygen present in the atmosphere. Atmospheric oxygen is taken up by living organisms in the process of respiration and release carbon dioxide, which is used for photosynthesis by plants. The last cycle of nutrient cycles is hydrologic or water cycle. Water is an essential element for life to exist on Earth. Water from oceans, lakes, rivers, and other reservoirs is continuously converted to vapor by the process of evaporation and transpiration from the surface of plants. Water vapors get condensed and returned by precipitation, and the cycle continues. The water falling on the ground is absorbed and stored as a groundwater. Ecological implication of human alteration to the nitrogen cycle. Many human activities have a significant impact on the nitrogen cycle. Burning fossil fuels, application of nitrogen-based fertilizer, and other activities can dramatically increase the amount of biologically available nitrogen in an ecosystem. And because nitrogen availability often limits the primary productivity of many ecosystems, large changes in the availability of nitrogen can lead to severe alteration of nitrogen cycle in both aquatic and terrestrial ecosystems. Industrial nitrogen fixation has increased exponentially since the 1940s, and human activities has doubled the amount of global nitrogen fixation. In terrestrial ecosystems, the addition of nitrogen can lead a nutrient imbalance in trees, changes in forest health, and declines in biodiversity. With increased nitrogen availability, there is often a change in carbon storage, thus impacting more processes than just a nitrogen cycle. In agricultural systems, fertilizer are used extensively to increase plant production, but unused nitrogen, usually in form of nitrate, can leach out of soil, enter streams and rivers, and ultimately make its way into our drinking water. The process of making synthetic fertilizer for use in agriculture by causing N2 to react with H2, known as the Haber-Bosch process, has increased significantly over the past several decades.